Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to go over some of my favorite things from the first of the year. So let's get started. My first favorite thing is actually two things, and it's these squeezy water bottles here. I ordered these off of Amazon and they came in a pair. You get two different size bottles, and these are just, these are fantastic for watering, especially if you are like me and every single time you water, you make an absolute mess and get water everywhere without fail, like no matter what. Every time I try to water the plants on top of my IKEA cabinet, I will spill water all down the side, and then I have to spend like 5 minutes cleaning it up. So to fix that, I got these, and they're so nice. I don't make any sort of a mess, and you can really like get in there. And I find these are really nice too. If you have plants that don't like getting water on their foliage, you can just like get down into the soil, no problem. So I really recommend these, and I will try to get a link down in the description below for you so you can find them for yourself. Okay, so my second item, this is my very first Hoya that I ever purchased. I got it as about, I don't know, maybe like a, so much on it. I got it as about a 6 or 8 leaf cutting from a really sweet lady doing a plant sale off the side of the road in my area, and he has just taken off. For the first probably 6 months that I had him in my bedroom, just sitting kind of near my windowsill, getting really nice light, but not much extra humidity. And he didn't do a single thing until I put him in the cabinet, and then he just started going crazy. Oh, my dog just knocked this over, so there's some hair in here, but he's gorgeous, and I just love the veination. I feel like since he's gotten in the cabinet and gotten closer to the light, these veins have really become much more pronounced, and I love the size of them. They're really keeping a good size, and some of them are getting kind of a funky shape. I'll try and get you a closer up shot of this leaf, but he almost looks like a carry eye, like mixed with an ovavada. Like, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's beautiful. And some of the splash on here, because he's so close to the light, is coming in more pink, so it's just beautiful. I really recommend this guy, and he's just super easy to care for. As far as like knowing when to water him, he's not going to be as visually talkative, if you will. You're just going to want to kind of take a couple leaves and like pinch them a little bit, and if they're bending, he can probably use some water. If he's like nice, oh, this one's really bendy. See if you can, woohoo, super bendy. If he's well watered, these leaves are going to be super stiff, and you're not going to feel like you can bend them at all. My third thing to show you here, and just to clarify, none of these items are in any particular order. I've got just 10 things, both plants and non-plants, but yeah, no particular order. So my third thing is going to be propagation vessels. These are amazing, and specifically thrifted propagation vessels, because you can just find such cool stuff at your local thrift shop for super cheap. This guy I found at a local thrift store. I think he was like 50 cents, originally $1, and it was on a sale day, so 50% off. Killer deal, and I just stick the little cuttings just right in there. I really like the propagation vessels that have the more fluted neck. That way the stuff just isn't falling right down in there and getting all moldy. So yeah, I love this guy. And then the reason I really wanted to put thrifted propagation vessels on this list is because of this beautiful guy that I found a few weekends ago at one of my local thrift stores. And I just fell in love immediately. He was, I think, $2, I think $2.50 actually, $4.99 originally. And again, it was a sale day, so 50% off. And this guy, luckily, it was already watertight. I didn't know that when I bought it. I didn't test it out or anything, but got super lucky with that. Does hold water absolutely fine. And I just have some damp sphagnum moss in here with some propagations, and I'll get some better shots so you can really see, but I do have some nice growth happening in here. So I love this guy. He gets nice and foggy and gets that condensation built up, and then probably once a day or once every other day, I'll just pop him open, so that way he has a little bit of breathing room there. And then once I notice that condensation disappear, I'll pop it closed and wait for the next round. thrifted propagation vessels. My next item here is a big one, and it's behind me. I don't know if you can see him down there on the floor, but this is my Scindapsus pictus exotica. Let me try and grab him for you. Okay, so this big guy lives in my entry, and he sits in between some golden pothos and a global green pothos. So in between those like really green leaves, this silvery blue foliage just pops out like crazy. And I just love how full he's getting. I love it. Another reason I really enjoy this plant is as it hangs down, these leaves still keep a really good size, which most trailing plants, as they're going down, the leaves tend to get smaller, but not this guy. Maybe on a couple strands here, we've got some small ones, but for the most part, they are really sizable. And I gotta tell you, I grab this plant every single time before I leave the house just to like touch the leaves and hold on to them, and like, I just love the feeling. My plant people, you get me. And actually, one more thing about this guy that I wanted to add as far as care goes and watering, really easy care again. This one is very vocal about when she's thirsty.
Let me see if I have any leaves that are... Well, I watered this guy not too long ago, but this guy's a little bit curly. But
when he's thirsty, the leaves will really start to curl in, and you'll know. It'll be yelling at you like, hey, I'm thirsty, give me something. So then you'll know, and then in like a day or so, the leaves will plump right back up. My I already lost count, whatever. Our next item is going to be plant Velcro. I love plant Velcro, and the Velcro specifically. I know there's a bunch of different items that you could use to like tie up your plants to make them more presentable, or to help them, you know, tack onto a pole or something like that. But the Velcro specifically, I find really nice. And the reason I like this plant Velcro so much, instead of say like the tape that you can get that is just like something that you kind of basically tie around to keep the plant up, or I've also tried something that's essentially just a wire that is covered in like a plastic or rubber, so something that's a little bit softer, but essentially it's still just a wire that you're using to tie your plants up. And as that plant is growing and maturing, the wire can really do some serious damage to the stems of the plants. So I really prefer to use the plant Velcro. It's very gentle, and it's reusable. You can reuse this so many times. I've had the same 2 rolls for probably 2 years, and the only reason I got a second one is because I lost the first one, and of course, as soon as you buy the next one, you find the original. So now I have 2, which, not complaining, the more the merrier. I like to keep one upstairs and one downstairs so that whenever I'm needing to tie a plant up, I can do it with ease. I actually do have a Rhaphidophora decursiva upstairs in my bedroom that I showed in a previous video that definitely needs to be tied up. So we'll do that together as well with this plant Velcro. Okay, next up is a Philodendron Brasil. Now I have a bunch of these. This isn't the exact one that inspired me to put this plant on the list. I'll get some other footage of that for you. That particular plant lives on top of my IKEA cabinet. He's up there in the corner. I don't know if you can see him. And he is just massive, and he just grows like nobody's business. I absolutely love that plant. This guy is also beautiful. No hate on this one. I love this guy. This plant in particular lives hanging next to my IKEA cabinet just from the ceiling, and you can really see how beautiful the different variegation is throughout this plant, and even more so on the other. Again, I'll show you some pretty shots of that so you can really get the gist of this plant. Yeah, I definitely recommend. And like the Scindapsus exotica, this will also let you know when it's thirsty by curling in those leaves and just looking kind of droopy and sad. So just keep an eye on your plants and they'll let you know when they need some water. Okay, here is my next plant. This is an Epipremnum Cebu Blue, Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue, or Cebu Blue pothos, whatever. I'll put the exact name on the screen for you. I'm not exactly sure which one of those is correct, but I am just obsessed with this plant. He's beautiful. He's growing up just a wood plank, as you can see, and we've tacked him on there with that lovely nifty plant Velcro that I was talking about previously, and he has just tacked himself on like crazy. I don't know if you can see there. Again, I'll get some different footage so you can see, but those aerial roots are on there. Like, you can try tugging him off, and you're gonna have to try pretty hard to get those off of there because they've really embedded themselves into the wood, which is so cool. This is just an untreated piece of wood. I'm not sure what kind of piece of wood this is. I'd have to ask my boyfriend and he would know, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'll try and like put that on the screen too in case you're wanting to just try the same thing. I think it was a pretty cheap piece that was a larger piece that I just had him cut down for me. And it's awesome. I think it's really beautiful too. Just a nice light natural wood, and yeah, he's gorgeous. And this plant is actually 2 plants in the pot. And as you can see at the bottom, he's nice and full. The original plant that I got was actually from another YouTuber's plant shop, Harley G, and her plant shop, The Foliage Fix. And I highly, highly recommend. It came beautifully packaged. I think it was just 2 or 3 leaves. I'll pop in a picture so you can see when I originally unboxed this plant. And that combined with the other probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 leaf plant that I got after that to make it a little bit more full have just taken off. As you can see here at the top, he is ready for an extension. He's just been kind of leaning up against the wall. So we'll do that together soon. Epipremnum Cebu Blue, or Cebu Blue pothos. Sorry, I got cut off there. But the next item I wanted to go over with you guys is something I don't hear talked about very often, and I'm not very sure why, because they're such a lifesaver, and that is gonna be outlet timers. This is just the cheapest one that I could find at Walmart. I think it was like $4.88 or something, and I've got a ton of these. These are amazing. I use these for all of the supplemental light that I have around my house so that I never have to think about turning my lights on and off. And they're just super easy to do, really self-explanatory. You just set the time for the time that it is on here, and then you select like how many hours you want your lights to be on or off, and they're amazing. So super great if you are a stoner jabroner like myself and don't want to have to think about when you have to turn on and off all of your lights, especially if you have them in rooms that you don't necessarily go in all the time. Like I have a spare bedroom that I have a ton of plants in and some supplemental lights set up, and I don't go in there every single day. So, which, I mean, maybe I should, but I don't. So it's really nice to just not have to think about that, and they'll just go on and off by themselves, and they're really well taken care of. Another thing I wanted to mention with these outlet timers is that besides the fact that you're getting that security for your plants, it's really nice when you're going on vacation because you don't have to worry about your plants getting that correct light while you're gone. And it's a little added sense of security because it kind of looks like someone's home when they're not turning on and off your lights for you. My next item is actually a group or family of plants, and those are going to be prayer plants. I have one specific one to show you here. I think this guy is my favorite of all of them. I just think he's so striking. But this is a Maranta Lemon Lime. I'll put like its true name on the screen for you, of course, but I just love this guy. The reason that prayer plants are on this list is because of the beautiful movement that they do going along with the day and night. So of course, during the day, the leaves fall down and you can really see that beautiful foliage, and at night they close up and you can really see the undersides of the leaves, which granted this guy's not doing anything crazy for his undersides of his leaves, but some other prayer plants that I have those really nice like red or purple backs of the leaves, and you really get to appreciate those once the sun goes down. So they're lovely. And not only do you get to like watch them, but even if you're not actively watching your plants go up and down during the day, you can hear the leaves kind of like rustling along each other, and it's just lovely little reminder that there's some real life happening in here. So prayer plants, Maranta specifically. The next plant on my list is actually another Hoya, which was really surprising to me when I was coming up with this list because I don't have many, and they're not something that's like terribly readily available in my area, but I have been getting much more into them, unfortunately, because they can be pricey. But this guy wasn't too bad. I think I paid around $30 for him at like a semi-local to me plant store called the Flower Bin in Longmont, Colorado. And when I first got him, he was, I think, still in this exact same pot. I haven't repotted him or anything. I think Hoya do like to be rather root bound for a while, clearly, because he's been pushing out so much growth. But when I first got him, he was, you know, a nice full base of the plant and had maybe like 7 or 8 of these little branchy arms kind of just barely sticking out of the pot, maybe 4 inches or so, and he is just taken off. He lives in my IKEA cabinet with my other Hoya, and he just does beautifully, absolutely beautifully. These arms look for any kind of crevice to crawl along and crawl out of the cabinet if they can. I've got a hole drilled in the top of my cabinet, and I can't tell you how many times I've had to pull these arms out of there. Oh no! It looks like we got stepped on here. We have a little bit of a bend. I might try to tape that because it doesn't look too bad. I might just try to put a little tape there and see if it will heal itself, hopefully. Because that was such a beautiful arm, and he was growing some good leaves. But I don't think it'll hurt the plant too terribly much if it doesn't heal. It'll just be a little bit slower to restart, I think. But I definitely recommend this plant. Really fast grower and same care, same easy care as the carnosa. I forgot to mention, this was sold to me as a pink silver splash. And right now it does not have much pink on there, as you can clearly see. I do think the pink comes with more direct light, and I don't think that the grow lights that I have are the correct, I don't know, the correct spectrum or something like that of light to make this go really pink. Although some of the leaves on that carnosa I was showing were going pink, but this guy, some of these are pressed right up against the light, and they're still not very pink. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So we're just gonna call him a Hoya pubicalyx silver splash. My last plant that I wanted to show you is a larger one. I think it's the largest one that I have to show you, maybe besides the Scindapsus exotica. But he's up on a wood pole, and I'm gonna try and grab him for you. He's not gonna be able to fit in this frame, but let's see. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see him here. I'll definitely insert some other shots so you can really get a good feel for the size and the beauty of this micans, but I just love this guy. This started as a, just single strand cutting, and I've just taken cutting after cutting after cutting and potted it back together, and I've made a couple different pots from this plant as well, so that I can share with some coworkers and friends. So I love this plant. I find it really easy to propagate and really easy to grow, and I definitely find that he likes a bit lower light with these darker leaves. They're just gorgeous. Hopefully you can kind of see here how really beautiful and kind of velvety these leaves are. And when the leaves are first coming in too, oh my goodness. Hopefully you can see there. The color on the fresh leaves is just unreal, and that lime green venation just pops out like crazy. But yeah, I love this guy, and I have found that like the, like the Cebu blue, his aerial roots are really trying to attach to the wood. So I highly recommend using just a plain untreated piece of wood to tie your plants to, and I recommend using that plant Velcro, as you can see again on here. We've used to help tack him up here. That plant Velcro is super, super easy to use and gentle on the plants. So yeah, I love him. Philodendron micans. I think those were all 10 items I wanted to go over with you in this video for my first of the year favorites. Definitely let me know what your first of the year favorites were this year, so I can get some good ideas for myself for this coming season. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.